Back with another one, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for if you still watching at this point. I appreciate it. Everybody who been watching so far. Let's get right into it. This part two on how basically Atlanta sound down south drowned out New York sound and 50 Cent after 2005. Like basically 50 Cent been drowned. That's why a lot of Atlanta artists had to go back and work with 50 Cent, like from Gucci Man on one on I think it's Writing on the Wall too. I think he had a song with 50 Cent on there. Uh, he worked with everybody around that time. He was just taking advantage of everything, every opportunity. He wasn't beefing with nobody. You know what I'm saying? After the whole Jeezy situation, because it just hinders money, right? Okay, so yeah, like I said, man, since 2005 and six, bro, like the whole New York sound just been gone. Everybody, like, this is just proof of it. Albums that came out that year, just for example, was Late Registration, bro. This was Kanye West's second album, and it dropped it just did it just as good as the first one. So that's just one of them, right? And we got the only thing that he came with us that took over, and that was from Cali. That was from the West Coast. The Game was kind of the biggest thing out the West Coast after Dr. Dre now. I ain't gonna lie. Like bigger than Kendrick, if you ask me. Game was what a way better rapper and storyteller than Kendrick Lamar. Y'all already know how I feel about that situation. Uh, like I said, y'all could go on Rumble. You know what I'm saying? I'm on there. Uh, that's the only thing he came with. The documentary, that was legendary too. Everybody was bumping that from St. Louis to Atlanta, down south. Everybody was. So he did give us that, but he came with like his stuff. Okay, but then we had Slim Thug out of Texas. These people ain't from Atlanta. I'm gonna get there in just a second, because everybody from Atlanta basically kind of shut him all the way down because the trap music scene took over, right? Pimp C came out, you know, Texas. The Carter 2 came out that year, right? How we gonna forget about the Carter 2? That's new, that's down south. That drowned 50 cents just all the way out. Everybody, the Fireman came out. That was the biggest thing out. That was kind of the same year 50 Cent came out with his movie, I think. Get Rich or Die Trying, but yeah, that ain't what we talking about though. So yeah, this was hot though. You know, y'all already know that. Fireman, Hustler Music, legendary. Jeezy. Jeezy came with Thug Motivation 101. Set the streets on fire, man. I'm telling you, this whole, like I said, this whole sound dropped 50 Cent way out of range. Nobody ever thought about him after that. Like, who was 50 Cent? I know I didn't. Around that time when Jeezy and them came out, we were so busy trying to understand what he was saying in lyrics, going to school, telling our friends how we brought, oh, I finally understand what this mean. You know what I'm saying? The chickens and all of that, right? He was talking that talk. You know how, y'all know what he was talking about. Trill came out, like I said, another Texas resident. Uh, that was crazy. Trill, they had a lot of bangers on it. It even had Jeezy on it. 50 Cent was nowhere on none of these albums that I mentioned. Then here go another list of Outkast from Idlewild. That was crazy. King came out. That was T.I.'s biggest album. It was disc 1 and disc 2. Bro, I remember getting this and just playing it back to back to back the whole time. Release Therapy. Ludacris, bro. Another Atlanta banger, dude. They had, these was all in every track off these albums was in the club. Them Franchise Boys, 2006. Like, you know, this was all 2006 actually. So, new Young Jock, and this was coming out of Diddy branch. So you know 50 hated that off Young Jock. You know, he came from Bad Boy. So, no, he ain't like that. He was nowhere on none of these albums. Boys in the Hood came out '05, probably '06, could have been. You know, Monica was even hotter than 50 in the females. You know what I'm saying? You know, like Field Mob. You know, that was crazy. They came with that. So yeah, man, 50 been crushed out since 2005 and 6 and on up, but he tried to come back and come with Curtis in 2007. Right? He see how he holding his head. He ain't know what to do because he was so mad because Atlanta took over, man. You know, you been gone, bro. You came out with that AO technology shit. Man, come on, bro. We couldn't take that serious. And what up? I Get Money. It was barely a club banger, bro. Crime Mob knocked that out the field. Like, come on, man. T.I. and Young Buck with Stomp. Come on, man. How we gonna forget that? That was crazy. T.I. and Ludacris beef on, dissing each other on the same track. Gucci Man came out. Like I said, Trap House 05. Knocked 50 Cent out, bro. Everyone, nobody, he was nowhere to be found down there. So ATL came out. There was a lot going on. The only thing that came out of New York bigger than 50 was Joel Santana and he was connected with Down South. He featured artists on his stuff, on his projects. He was featured heavy. Him and Lil Wayne was heavy in the mixtape game, if y'all remember that. So y'all already know how I feel about the mixtape game. So yeah, man, it's just been crazy, bro. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Y'all think New York sound been drowned out since Atlanta trap music came into play in 05 and up? Let me know.